guys, Becky with Quinny's Glitzy Tumblers. Today we are going to be making my famous Quinny's printed pencil tumbler. So my favorite thing as a kid growing up was to go school shopping, and God knows I was not a plain kid. I loved being extra, so my favorite thing was picking out pencils. Pencils with all the printed, little different printed designs on them. One of my favorites was Lisa Frank. I actually made a couple. I don't have them to show you, but that was my favorite thing, was being able to pick out printed pencils. So that is what I came up with. Here's an example of one. So I'm going to be teaching you how to make that. All of the supplies that you need will be listed below, as well as a link to my Etsy shop to get the file, the cut file for your pencil tumbler. Now you can use masking tape if you would like. It just takes a long time and it's a long process. So I went ahead and created a file for you guys so that it just prints it right out. So a file will be available. The link is below for both a 30 ounce and 20 ounce skinny. I use the Makerflo brand of tumblers. So these fit those perfect. And I know that the hog tumblers from Stainless Steel Depot are also the same shape and size as the skinnies from Makerflo. You can use this on other skinnies from other companies. It may be a little off, but all you'll do is you will print it out and you will cut off the excess or whatever is hanging over. But the ones that I made do fit the Makerflo or Hog brand skinnies. So yeah, I will go ahead and get started, and thank you for watching. Okay, so here I am on my design space. So after downloading your file from the email, go ahead and click on upload, upload image. You're going to browse and find wherever your file is. I'm going to go ahead and click on the JPEG file, and you can really just use any of these. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. I'm going to go to simple, continue, and now I'm going to take out the white background. The white background ensures that only the template is what is going to be cut. So I'm going to click continue. I'm going to save as a cut image. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And we're going to come over here, and it's right here. I already previously downloaded it, so that's why you see a second one. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to insert image, and it will insert it onto my design space. Go ahead and resize this. Now that the background is taken away, you're going to come down here and you're going to unlock your image so that you can size it how you want, custom size it. Then I'm going to come over to my sizing, and the width needs to be 9.852 and the height is 6.629. So I make sure that that is entered, and as soon as I'm done with that, I can go ahead and come over here and click make it. And now you see that the image is ready to cut. So you will go ahead and choose whatever vinyl you would like. You can choose vinyl, you can choose cardstock, which you will Mod Podge on your cup. That is what my tutorial will show. But you can choose vinyl, cardstock, anything you would like. So here's the image, and I'm going to go ahead and continue, and it'll bring me to my main screen for cutting. And here is our base material is set for vinyl. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it into my Cricut and go ahead and cut it as is. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are at my Cricut machine. I'm just gonna show you guys a little bit of what I bought at Hobby Lobby. This is cardstock, super cheap, $1.99 for some of the bigger pieces. And then I believe for the smaller pieces, it was like, 59 cents. But the great thing about cardstock is you only need Mod Podge to adhere it to your tumbler, and they have so many different options. This is something that you can use as an alternative to vinyl. And the great thing about the cardstock, getting it at craft stores, is every single season they come out with new cardstock. So it's never the same and it's always changing. But I have all these prints that I can choose from for my pencil tumbler. Christmas is almost upon us, so I will avoid using a Christmas one for a tumbler that I might not be able to sell in January for Christmas. I got all these nice fall ones. And again, the great thing about getting stuff at Hobby Lobby is that you can get a discount if you use your discount code at the checkout. I think they give 40% off of whatever. Okay, so out of all my cardstock, I chose this one. This one is a little bit thicker. It's definitely thicker than regular paper. So I went ahead and loaded it onto my standard grip pad. This is new though, so it's going to be very sticky. I'm gonna go ahead and load it into my Cricut. I'm gonna make sure that the settings, because it is a thicker cardstock, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the highest setting of my cardstock. Not the light cardstock, but the regular cardstock. I'm gonna put it on the highest setting to ensure that it cuts it. So I'm gonna go ahead and load this. And I'm going to go ahead and let it cut. Okay, so it is done cutting. I'm going to go ahead and unload this. Let me make sure that it cut through for the most part. Unloaded, and now I'm going to go ahead and just remove the outside of it. And you see it comes off pretty easy. I'm going to remove the outside of it. And this leftover, there's a pretty decent amount left over. You can save that for other projects. That's what I normally do. And I'm going to go ahead and take this off, set that aside so I can save it. And here we are. This is our template for our pencil tumbler. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can get it up. Like I said, it's a new sticky pad, guys. New sticky pad. Those are always fun to work with. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this slowly. I'm going to try not to pull up, because if I pull up and too hard, it's going to cause the paper to curve. And it's all going to coil up once I get it off up here. So I'm just slowly picking this up. Okay, so here is my cut. This is for my pencil tumbler, and I will be right back, get my supplies ready, and we will start. Supplies that I will need. I went ahead and I already prepped this cup. So it was sanded and spray painted white. Sanded, washed, spray painted white. Other things that you will need. Here is my cut file that you will need. My Mod Podge and brush, whatever brush you want to use to apply it. And then you will need paint brushes. A little hack for you guys. This I got at the dollar store. No. The 99-cent store, that's what it's called. I got this at the 99-cent store. The top twists off. All of my paint brushes are in here. So super easy. And it comes with like a little thing to hang it. I nailed it to the wall. There's like literally a little nail, and I have these hanging all over my wall with different things. Super good hack, just to let you know. 99-cent store, go and grab one. So you will need paint brushes, and you'll need several different paint brushes. That way you don't mix your colors and everything looks really nice. Acrylic paints that I will be using is just a plain black acrylic paint. I like to use the Deco Art metallic paints, are like some of my favorite acrylic paints, but I like to use this silver. It just gives that extra pop when I pour the silver glitter. And then here is a folk art enamel. This is called Parisian Pink. And this is just a really pretty pink. And that's gonna be for the eraser part. And then I kind of switch back and forth as far as the browns go. On your pencil tumbler, this area right here, I kind of switch back and forth. But the one that I typically use is the Deco Art Cocoa. And it's like a lighter brown, and it just kind of keeps the brown not so deep. I don't like it when it's so dark. So those are the acrylic paints that I need. And the glitters that I use for my pencil tumblers. So you guys know that I've always like super raved about the Recollections black glitter. Not that it is super sparkly. It's not super sparkly at all. It's kind of like a plain black, okay? It's not super sparkly, but you can get a lot of this for cheap. And all I do is I add a little additive. This is from Galactic Sugar Company, and this is called Eclipse, and it's just an additive. You can totally mix a little with your glitter, or you can mix it into the actual epoxy. So it kind of gives it that sparkle, sparkles it up a little bit. But I always, this is my go-to black because I know that I can always make it more glittery if I need to. But this is the Recollections from Michael, just the black. I don't know if you guys can see that, the glare of my window. The pink that I use is the Peachy Olive Glitters Flamingo. And to me, this looks a lot darker on camera. It's a really beautiful light pink. And it just reminds me of an eraser. Like, it is the perfect pink for this. And then the other, for the silver part of the pencil tumbler, this is also from Peachy Olive Glitters, and this is called Honeymoon. So this is a plain fine silver. And if you guys notice, all of the glitters that I use for the pencil tumblers, they're all fine glitter. All fine glitter. So it works perfect. And what I love about these colors that I'm choosing for the pencil tumbler is they don't have any type of iridescent to them. They don't have a different color mixed in there. They don't have a color shift. I like that they are the colors that they are. There's nothing extra in them, so it makes it just that much better. Because I'm picky about stuff, so I like when the colors, the glitter colors on a pencil tumbler are exactly what they're supposed to be. I mean, obviously you can step outside the box. But yeah, and then the gold that I'm using, or brownish gold that I'm using, this is one of those big bags, I think the Spin It bags, and it's a gold from Michael's, and I just poured it in this. But this is always my go-to gold also, unless somebody wants something else. It's on the cheaper side, and it always gives me the prettiest glisten. This is it at the bottom. So yeah, that is it. Also, you might need gloves so you don't get Mod Podge everywhere. I also have a paper plate to mix my Mod Podge with my acrylic paints. I have paper so that I don't waste glitter when I sprinkle. I also have this little foil thing. I get these all the time at the 99-cent store. You can buy them in big packs for super cheap, but it makes for an easy cleanup. So yeah, that is it. I believe that is all I need to tell you. And as far as my cut file goes, now I use Makerflo, as you guys all know, Makerflo for my tumblers. And Makerflo skinnies are the same, or I should say the same shape as the Stainless Steel Depot skinnies. I know that some other places are a little bit different, but this is the tumbler that I use from Makerflo. So these cut files fit it exactly. Now you could totally use this on a different brand skinny, on a different brand 30-ounce skinny. You just might have to warp it a little bit or stretch it out, or you might have to cut off with an X-Acto knife, cut off excess that you have hanging over, which isn't a big deal. Super easy to do. So I will go ahead and get started. Let me get my gloves on. So let me show you how to properly put on the cut file. So this I have already cut on my machine, on my Cricut. The download file will be available on my YouTube channel as soon as I upload it in a couple days. You can hear them screaming right now. But I just wanted to show you guys really quick how I line this up and do it perfect so that you guys can see. So I went ahead and downloaded the file, cut it, and so it's ready to go. I personally like when the bottom of the tumbler has the lead and the top has the eraser, so I do the points towards the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. So I'm going to lay my cut file down really quick. I'm going to lay this down to show you guys. So I'm going to place my tumbler on it, and before any Mod Podge or anything is added to it, I'm just going to line these up. And you kind of just play with it. So I'm just scooting it down a little bit, just a tad. And it's very awkward doing it when the camera is above me, because I'm trying to make sure that you guys see as well as I'm doing it correctly. So it's kind of a learning experience for me as well. Definitely a learning experience for me. Like I said, this is a new tripod too, so I have to get the feel for this. Just barely shifting it over. And my kids are going absolutely nuts. They have been all day. Okay, so here we are. So here it is, lined up, completely lined up. Once I Mod Podge it, it will meet. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hold this on there since I already have it lined up. I'm gonna go ahead and hold it on there. I'm gonna let this flap open so I have it still held to where it meets both corners. So I'm gonna let this flap open. I have some Mod Podge in my lid right here. I'm going to go ahead and take some Mod Podge and just do the underside of this paper really quick. And this is just how to perfectly line it up so that it's not off, so that you don't have to cut anything. This, like I said, fits the 30-ounce skinnies from Makerflo and Hog. Other skinnies from other companies, I'm sure it will fit. I know it has fit. Go in there, would you please? She's taking you. It will fit other 30-ounce skinnies. You just might have to taper it a little bit or cut a little bit or whatever to make it line up. So I just wanted to show you guys. Okay, so I Mod Podged the corner of that. So now they meet up perfectly. I Mod Podged the corner of that. I'm gonna go ahead and press it down so it sticks. Now, since that side is stuck, I'm going to unroll this while still holding on to this because it's not completely dry. I'm still gonna hold on to the seam to make sure it doesn't slip. I'm gonna go ahead and unroll it, and I'm going to take the Mod Podge and I'm going to start applying it as close to the underside as I can. So I'm going to continue Mod Podging this, the whole entire paper. And this is a much easier way than I was trying to do it earlier with my kids screaming. But I just wanted to show you guys how I normally do it when I don't have them screaming. So I'm going to make sure the paper is all completely covered on this side with Mod Podge. So there, most of it is done. I still have a little piece right here, but I'm going to hold off till the end. So I'm just going to slowly go back and forth as I roll it, making sure to press out, push out any extra Mod Podge. If I got a little glob in there, you can see some Mod Podges coming out. So I'm going to go around, make sure it's completely flattened on there. And make sure that your hands are clean for this part. My hands are clean, but just make sure your hands are clean for this part, because using cardstock, if your hands are dirty, you might get it on that side. Okay, so I did that. Now I'm going to do the last little bit of paper that's left. Last little bit to make sure it's all sticky. I'm missing. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to continue doing that, pressing down on it, making sure that it's completely adhesed to the cup, and making sure that any excess Mod Podge is squeezed out of it. Okay, so you will see here, it's lined up from here to here. We don't have any gaps, but if there is a gap and you don't place it right, don't worry, do not worry. If you don't place it right, you can always go through how I have my gold washi tape or silver washi tape, whatever color you choose. If it doesn't completely meet up and you're kind of stressed about it, don't worry, because you can put a piece right there. So completely done. I'm gonna let this dry and then I will continue on the other ones. So I already have this one done. So what I am going to do is I'm going to grab my painter's tape and I'm going to tape off the very bottom and the very top. And this is going to tape off the pink and the black. And we're going to work on the silver and brown. So I'm going to go ahead and take my painter's tape. This one is already dry. That's why I'm choosing to use this. So I have my painter's tape. I'm just going to tape off the very bottom. And I mean, it's all preference, how big you want the eraser, how big you want this or that. And every pencil is different. So, I mean, I feel like it's just, you do whatever you want. Okay, so there is that. I'm just going to make sure my blue tape meets up on the other side. There's that and there's that. I'm going to go ahead and cover at the bottom. Okay, the bottom is taped off, and that will be the black later on, but we're not going to worry about that right now. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape off the very top, which is going to be the eraser. Now, I have seen people do pencil tumblers where the eraser is on the bottom and the lead is on the top. It's all preference. I prefer to put the eraser on the top. And the reason why is because I think of, if you're writing with a pencil, the eraser's on the top. Now, it's totally preference, but this is how I do mine. So I'm just showing you how I do mine. I like it this way. I think it looks better, but it's all preference. And honestly, it's just whatever you feel like. Okay, so when I put the painter's tape on the top of this one, I'm gonna make the eraser a little bit thicker because the silver that's on a pencil is actually very thin. So I'm just going to make it a little bit thicker on the top. And I'm going to go around, tape it off, tape it off. Tape it off, okay. And now the top is taped off. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this inside the tumbler, and that is going to be the pink part, but we will come back to that. So now we have a pencil tumbler that looks like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pour my silver acrylic paint as well as my brown acrylic paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some Mod Podge in with my acrylic paints. This gives the glitters, when you lay down the glitters, it gives them a deeper color to them and makes them so much prettier. So that is why I do that. I love to do it. It makes it look so much nicer. But like I said, totally preference. You could use just Mod Podge if you want. But this is almost like making a colored sticky base. Rather than spray paint, it's Mod Podge and you're coloring it. Okay, so you can start with either. You can start with top or bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and start with my brown. And I'm just going to carefully paint on my brown Mod Podge. And it's okay if you get some of the paint, a little bit of the paint. Try to be careful, but it's okay if you get some of the paint over it because remember, we're going to be taking whatever color you want, the silver or glitter, and we're going to be outlining these. So you won't be able to see it as much. And just like with any cup that you're Mod Podging, you want to make sure there's not huge blobs because you will be able to see those when you glitter it. I hope that you guys can see this. This is my first time using this tripod. I can't see anything, but I hope you guys can clearly see this. So I'm just going around with my brown Mod Podge, and I am painting all of it where it needs to go. And this is where we will lay our glitter. Okay, so that is done right there. I'm gonna set my plate aside so that I can glitter this. I'll lay my paintbrush down. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper and I'm gonna go ahead and just sprinkle over where the acrylic Mod Podge is. I do 2 layers of this, so I will let this dry and then I will go back and I will do another one. My paper is just so that I don't waste. I usually have some scissors right here. Of course, I can't find them. Something hard so that all the glitter falls off. Usually I use scissors to tap the excess. I will use a screwdriver because that is what is closest to me. Okay, and there are some spots that don't have any glitter yet, which is totally fine. We'll go back over and we'll do it again. So I'm gonna go back and forth in between colors so that way the Mod Podge has a couple minutes to dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my gold back into its container. Then I'm going to go to put my brown back over here, my brown paintbrush. Actually, I'll set it on here. Ooh. And then I will go to my silver. So here's my silver. I'm going to mix it with Mod Podge. And this is just so that it's a little bit more pigmented so that the glitter is a little nicer. I'm just going to easily put this in, slowly painting this. Like I said, it's okay if you get it over your vinyl or your cardstock. It will be okay because we will be putting some of that metallic, what is it called, tape? Trying to make sure you guys can see. I'm not sure I'm doing a good job. Sorry, this is new to me, this tripod. Okay, so I will go, I'm gonna grab another piece of paper. I'm gonna go ahead and take my silver, and this is Peachy Olive Glitters Honeymoon. And I'm going to sprinkle it over this. Being careful not to touch where my gold is. Spin it completely around. I'm gonna grab something to tap off the excess. I just don't want to, the reason why I tap off the excess glitter is so that I don't mix glitters when I put them back into my containers. There's nothing I hate more than messing up a container of glitter, going to use it the next time and it having a million different colors in it. Okay, I'm gonna go back with my brown and I'm just gonna paint right over what I already had done. I just take the tape off and I just slowly peel it off. If I wait for the Mod Podge to dry, usually Mod Podge is really finicky. So I'm just gonna slowly take this off so that there's a nice crisp line. If you wait for the Mod Podge to dry and there's some on the tape, when you go to pull it, it'll pull up your other Mod Podge. So you try to be careful with that. Slowly peeling. So that was 2 layers of Mod Podge and glitter. Okay, so there is the gold. There's the gold part. And we're going to continue with our silver and do the same with our silver. So okay, so that tape is off, and you can see there's a couple little spots where it did pull it up a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just gonna push it back down. Just kind of tap it down. Okay, so here we are. We have silver, we have brown. Woohoo! We're done with that. So now we get to do the eraser part and the lead part, the pink and black. Now we are gonna go in and we are gonna do the eraser part, the pink part, and the lead part, which is the black part. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in and do that. And I'm gonna start off by grabbing my plate. I'm gonna put some black acrylic paint down and some pink. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing, alternating. I'm gonna do 2 layers. So I'm gonna start with the black and then move to the pink and then go back to the black and back to the pink. So I'm gonna mix my black. Okay, there is my black Mod Podge, and it makes it more of a charcoal color, but it totally works. It makes the black so much more pigmented and beautiful. Of course. I'm gonna carefully paint around, and this is where I'm going to be careful because there's no painter's tape to pull up. So I'm just gonna slowly take it around here as to not get the black onto the brown. But it's not hard to do, guys. It really isn't. I mean, go around this one more time just so it's sticky. Set my plate aside. I'm going to grab my paper and my black glitter, and I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle start sprinkling. I made a bunch of these pencil tumblers and they sold so fast. I was hoping to be able to show you guys all the different prints I made, but that didn't work out. But that's okay. I'm very happy and blessed that they sold so fast. Okay, so there's the black. I'm gonna go ahead and tap off the excess. And I'm not too worried. There's a couple little gold flakes that fell into my black. I'm not too worried because this is my cheap black. I don't use my expensive black glitter when I'm doing multiple colors. But this is my cheap black, so if there's other flakes in it, it's not a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna put my glitter back in its container, put my paper aside. Then I'm going to go to my pink side. This. Okay, so I have another paintbrush. I'm gonna go ahead and, let me hold this really quick. I'm gonna go ahead and mix my pink. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my plate again, and I have my black paintbrush and my black acrylic paint mixed with my Mod Podge, and I'm gonna go back over. We're gonna resaturate this glitter. That way, when we do our second layer of glitter, it really pops and there's no bare spaces that show or reveal our tumbler underneath. Nothing I hate more than having to see the tumbler underneath. Fix this that I did. I barely even touched the bottom. But it will bug me to see that little flaw. It will bug me. I will know it's there. Nobody else will, because you really couldn't see anything underneath it. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is it. And you can see there's a little bit of space right here. This one I also kind of rushed for. My kids were screaming at me. Like I said, this cut file does fit perfectly on here. I just didn't have the time to do it. But here it is. So I am gonna go ahead. This has to dry, the Mod Podge has to dry. And then after it's dry, let's see, I'll let it dry for probably about an hour just to be safe because there's a couple layers. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let this dry, but yeah. So I will be back tomorrow to finish this. My mom will be here to help me so I can finish it. So thank you for watching. Okay, so now that the Mod Podge is completely dry on my cup, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a large dry paintbrush, and I'm just going to scrape off or dust off any of the excess glitter that is still loose on the tumbler. I'm gonna go around the whole tumbler and just make sure I get all the excess glitter off. And you can see that quite a bit is falling off. I wanna get that off just to ensure when I go to epoxy the cup that all the different colors of glitter don't mix on the cup. So that seems to be good. Okay, now I'm going to go in with some Mod Podge. I have a little bit of Mod Podge in my lid. I'm going to go in with my Mod Podge, and I'm just going to lightly go over. I'm going to lightly go over where my cardstock is, and this is just to give it an extra layer of sealant because it is cardstock. It is not vinyl. So we just want to make sure that it's extra protected, that we don't have any bleeding colors, that the paper doesn't bleed. So I'm just going to lightly go over it with Mod Podge just to seal it. And like I said, I like to do the step just to give it, the cardstock, just an extra layer of protectant. As soon as this Mod Podge dries, we will go through and I will take the acrylic coating spray, clear acrylic spray. I will take that and I will completely spray the whole entire cup a couple times. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through, bring it down to the bottom. Don't mind my kids. Go in there now. Thank you. You okay? Okay. I'm gonna make sure I go all around this. Just making sure to really just coat the cardstock. If you are using vinyl, you can go ahead and skip this step. You don't have to seal it, obviously. Vinyl is vinyl, it's already protected. Okay, so here's a nice thin layer of Mod Podge. I'll go ahead and let this dry, and as soon as this layer of Mod Podge dries completely, I'll give it about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. As soon as that dries completely, I'm gonna go in with my Krylon Crystal Clear Acrylic Coating, and I'm going to go ahead and spray my complete tumbler. I'm gonna do about 3 layers, waiting about 30 minutes in between each layer, just to make sure that we completely seal the glitters and that they don't budge when we go to epoxy. And that is it, so I'll be right back. So I went ahead and I mixed 30 milliliters of epoxy, 15 part A, 15 part B. Went ahead and mixed it for 3 minutes, and I'm just going to give it a nice little coating. I did coat the cardstock right here, the floral cardstock. I did coat that with several layers of Mod Podge just to ensure that the colors didn't bleed on the paper. And after the Mod Podge dried, I went ahead and did 3 light coats of the Krylon Clear Acrylic Spray. And that was just to ensure that when I did this, that I didn't have a ton of fallout from the glitter and I wasn't rubbing it all around my tumbler. Trying not to mix the glitter colors, trying not to get the black and the pink and the pink and the black. I mean, it's inevitable, it'll still happen, just is what it is, but just trying to avoid that as much as I could. Okay, so I'm going to start with the gold washi tape, and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to do the lines here, down it, and all around the pencil shading part. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the gold. Let me find the end of this. And like I said, this is thinner than the one that I normally make, or normally use, I'm sorry. And also, I just wanted to show that the gold lines that I do meet up with the points of the pencil shading, all the top points. You don't have to do that, it's all preference how you do it, but let me go ahead and start with this one. Okay, so I went ahead and I started with my gold washi tape, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the gold. I do the lines for the pencil down with the gold, and then it meets at the points of all the pencil shavings. I do the gold around all the pencil shavings. The washi tape that I used here is a little bit thicker than this one, but that's okay. This is what I had on hand. I mean, it's all preference. You really could use whatever you would like.
No, my vacuum works.
I know, honey, it's broke.
Broke?
Yeah, it's okay. Get your other vacuum. Okay, sissy. Sorry, it's 5 a.m. here. Both of my kids, I have 2 toddlers. I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they both have been waking up at 4 a.m. Don't know why. Super fun. So I'm just going to continue going around the whole entire cup, outlining the pencil shavings. And I'm just using my X-Acto knife. If there's any overlay of any of the washi tape, you can just cut it off with your X-Acto knife. And it's really simple. I'm just going around real quick and outlining everything. Very, very simple. This is where I started, so I'm just going to slice that little piece off. Then there we have it, the outline of the pencil shavings. Now I'm just going to do the line, the lines up the pencil, and I do it at the points, but it's all preference. You can do whatever you would like, however you like to do it. There's no rhyme or reason. No 2 pencils are the same. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be straight, because let's be honest, guys, pencils aren't perfect. You start to shade them down, you start to do all this stuff. Everybody, I had somebody complain when they were doing their pencil tumbler, and they were having such a hard time doing it, and they're like, I can't get the points of it even, and da-da-da. And I'm like, what pencil is? None of the points are even. I was like, it's not a big deal. Nobody will notice, and it's not, you know, if somebody does notice, just tell them, do you have a perfectly shaped pencil? No. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that, and I'm just cutting it off right at the top, at the base of the silver right here. And I'm just firmly pressing down on the washi tape so that it sticks, to ensure that it sticks. I know that a lot of washi tape does not stick. Me and my friend were actually just talking about that. I know that a lot of washi tape doesn't stick. And a solution to that problem would be to Mod Podge. Use Mod Podge to adhese it. Take a small, very thin paintbrush and just Mod Podge right over where you're putting your washi tape. Washi tape, I feel like it's very finicky. Okay, eat your hot dog. He doesn't actually have a hot dog at 5 in the morning, I promise. He has a hot dog from their play kitchen set. My 3-year-old and 2-year-old are up at 5 a.m. playing, just having the time of their lives, while I'm sitting over here exhausted. Okay, and if you see the seam of the cardstock, this is the cut file that I made. It meets up perfectly. Like, this is a 30-ounce skinny from Makerflo. Meets up perfectly if you take the time to do it correctly. So the great thing about this is I will go ahead and put a strip right on the seam, so you won't even see the seam. I made it to where the seam will be covered if you choose to put your washi tape on like this. Like I said, you don't have to, it's not a big deal. However you would like to put your washi tape on. Okay, so here we have it. Now we have all the pencil lines and the pencil shavings outlined on the pencil. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go ahead and do my silver right around where that metal clasp on the pencil is. Here is an example. I put silver right here. I'm going to continue with the silver. And you guys don't have to stick with gold and silver. You can do it however you'd like. If you want the whole thing silver, silver washi tape, that's fine. If you want the whole thing gold washi tape, that's fine. I always just use what's on hand. No two pencil tumblers are the same. I'm not like super picky about it. I just like, you know, to do my thing, and yeah, every pencil tumbler is different. So, okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and line up the silver right above each gold line that goes down it. I'm gonna continue going, following the outline so that I cover up the outline. You may have to readjust, which is fine. And even this part, it's not always super straight when I do it, but like I said, it's not, no pencil is straight or perfect. Okay, I went ahead and met up with the other side of the washi tape, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it right off. There we go. So here is the first line, and I'm gonna do a second line right on the top. Oh man, I did that good. I can't see, I think I started right here. Can't see where I started it. Okay. So I'm gonna continue going around my pencil. It's okay if it is not straight, guys. And to be honest, when things aren't straight and they don't line up, and sometimes when the points aren't exactly even, measured even, I did this to where they are measured even, but sometimes if you mess up and you have to cut off excess, they aren't even, but it's not a big deal. I think it adds to the charm of it. I really do. I think it makes it unique. Okay. So there's that. And there we have it, guys. We're done with our pencil tumbler, our Quinny's printed pencil tumbler. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give this some time to adhere. I'm gonna go ahead and really press down on that washi tape. This one luckily is sticky, so I don't really have to worry a whole lot about it. I'm gonna go ahead and let it sit for about an hour or two so that the adhesive on the back of here has a chance to adhere to it really well. And that is it. This is my pencil tumbler. It turned out super cute. I have several that I'm working on. So this is one, the very first one that I ever made. So this is, I always keep this for reference. So I have it setting to the side. I also am gonna go ahead and do this one and outline this one. This one sells really well. And this is cardstock as well. This is cardstock. And then I have another one that I'm working on, a Lisa Frank pencil tumbler. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off in about an hour or two. I'm gonna finish this off and do a couple layers of epoxy and I will be done. And feel free to add any kind of saying or their name. I usually leave it plain. Majority of my customers want it plain, and then I put their name down one of these sides in between the gold stripes. But obviously do whatever you'd like, whatever your customer likes. So here we have it. Turned out super cute. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you liked this YouTube video. Go ahead and hit thumbs up if you did. Remember to subscribe to my channel as well as join my Facebook group. It will be linked below. All of the supplies you need will be linked below, as well as the cut file for the pencil tumblers will be linked below. I have 2 cut files for 30-ounce skinny and a 20-ounce skinny. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, guys.